And welcome back to Subculture. Well, right now we have got something very special for you. We are about to play a brand new track on our show that we've never ever played before. It's called I Love You, I Lied by Sarah Yagki, and we thought we would get Sarah on the phone right now to talk a little bit about this amazing new single, because I've been listening to it all morning and I've fallen in love with it. Welcome to the program, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Now, Sarah, this is such an amazing track. It sounds so beautiful. It's got a little bit of an edge to it, but it's such a deep and meaningful song as well. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the origins of this song.
Thank you. So, I Love You, I Lied, I wrote about maybe a year or two now, and I'd actually never planned on it to come out. It was always meant to be just an acoustic track, and the more I was playing it live, the more I was seeing the power behind that story. And what it's about is when you're with someone, or in any sort of relationship, family, friends, in more of a romantic sense, and then you realize that you're around a person just because you're more in a habit of being with that person rather than actually being happy. And that's why the song is called I Love You, I Lied, because you're starting to realize that you don't really want to be in that spot anymore, and you know that everything else that's been really covered up by that feeling of just wanting them there to be comfortable starts to come out from the shadows.
It's to listen to the tracks and to listen to the lyrics, it sounds like you're reading somebody's diary. Was this a track that you felt that you really wrote straight from the heart?
It definitely is, and something that I aim with all my tracks. They're all inspired by stories that are my own, that I've seen, and my goal with my music is to be able to really, every single song, rip a piece of me out and give it to the people that listen to it in the song. So definitely I'm really happy that you have been able to take that as well.
Do you get a lot of people reaching out to you after they listen to your music and saying, I've been through that, or I'm going through that now, or that helped me through a tough time? Because as soon as I listened to this track, I started to think of times when I've been in that kind of situation. Do you get people reaching out to you a lot?
I actually have, and it's been a lot of mainly the live shows. So I'm, like, for anyone listening, I'm Sydney based, and what I have performed, I have a lot of people coming up to me and talking about the song, and I think it's been really beautiful to have that, because not only are they connecting when they listen to it, but when they see it live, I do my best to really just bring out that story, and people are connecting through that too, so I have been really grateful for that as well.
Now, this track is from your brand new EP as well. Tell us a little bit about the EP. Is this a good example of what people can expect to hear on the EP?
It is. So the EP actually comes out on Friday the 3rd, which is exciting, and the EP, it's the self-titled track, so that's the name of it, I Love You, I Lied, and the entire track is all based off my own experiences and really navigating the course of what it is to love in any sense and what it is to lose and have that loss. So I think that it's definitely something you can expect from the EP, but also seeing the different shades of what that means.
And over the last 12 months, you've worked with a lot of different people. There's been some new collaborators in there. How do you feel that that's expanded your music, and has it changed your music at all?
I feel like it hasn't necessarily changed my music, but it's let me find a lot of ways to really discover what it means to, write a song for, Sarah Yagki for me, and the way that I want that to be articulated. I feel like I Love You, I Lied is the first song out of my discography so far that really shows where I'm going, and it's still very much a Sarah Yagki song, but that idea that there's a lot more grit to it, there's a lot more vulnerability in it, despite it being quite, comparatively a little bit rockier. I still definitely think the next few songs that are coming show a lot more of me, and that has been a lot to the collaborators that I've worked with, and extending myself and challenging myself and really making sure I put out the best of what I want and what's me so people can connect to, and having that authenticity in that.
Definitely. And you co-produced the EP as well with James at Obscene Recordings. Tell us a little bit about James and what you feel he brings to your music as well.
James, I've been working with, he's the longest collaborator, and I am so grateful for him. When I walk into a space, especially as a female artist, it's so safe and comforting, and we spend the first bit just chatting, and, he helps me really discover what I want to try and say in the song and the story, and he's just definitely gets me, and I think that having an environment where I can just be able to be so open and vulnerable just makes the songs even more powerful. So I am so grateful to be able to have him as a collaborator.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing a few live shows recently, but you're about to kick off your national tour, and you'll be on the road from March right through until June. How excited are you about being able to get out there and play these tracks live?
I'm really excited, and I think as an artist, independently as, a lot of other artists are going through, it's that balance of, working and playing and trying to, survive at the same time. But I've been really grateful that my band has been able to jump on board this tour, and are really excited as well about playing these songs with me.
Well, as you mentioned, we went through some rough years there with the pandemic, where we weren't doing live shows and things like that. How did you spend that time? Because everyone I speak to seems to have treated it differently. Some people found that it was the best time to sit down and write music. Other people said that just all their creativity seemed to leave them during that time. How did you spend that time?
So during that time, I was living with someone who unfortunately wasn't the best to live with. So I was going through a lot during the pandemic, and that feeling of the experiences and the isolation sort of came into my music, and I was writing and living and writing and living, but still very isolated in that. So during the pandemic, it actually not necessarily fueled my creativity, but it fueled the stories that I'd be sharing a couple of years after it.
Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes situations like that, they are so terrible when we're going through them, but they just seem to fuel our lyric writing and things like that. Do you find that it's a big help after you've been through something like that to be able to sit down and put those feelings down on paper?
It definitely does, and especially with the fact that a lot of the time I am, forgetting when things happen, and there's mind gaps as well when I write music. It's really good for me to be able to just lock in a piece of time and be able to share what that is. And I think that even now at the moment, there's things that I kind of question or I struggle with, and then I can listen back to a song of mine and go, actually, no, I remember how I felt in that, and I remember what that feels like, and that helps me really connect back to who I am despite anything else or whoever else is around me.
Now, for anyone out there who wants to head along and see Sarah play live, we will put all those dates up on our subcultureentertainment.com website. But Sarah, if people want to grab a copy of your EP, where can they go to grab a copy of the EP?
So this Friday it will be out on all streaming services. It's Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, Yagki, Y-A-G-K-I, and you can grab a copy anywhere there. And also I'll be posting heaps on my Instagram and Facebook, and getting really excited for my first headline show that kicks off in 2 Saturdays' time at Oxford Art Factory in Sydney.
Awesome. Well, we are going to play I Love You, I Lied on our show right now. So what would you like to say to everybody out there before they take a listen to this amazing track for the first time?
If you have anything in that song that you connect with, please let me know. Please share. I love to hear everyone and anyone's feelings about it, and thank you for being able to listen to my track.
Well, listeners, here it is. Here is a track that I know that you are going to fall in love with, and I look forward to playing it for a while because I know that you're all going to be putting in requests for it as well. It's I Love You, I Lied by Sarah Yagki.